most of these teams, it is Judgment Day. And if teams move on, it'll be a relief for some. Na'Vi, Liquid, both fighting for survival. G2 trying to make their way back in, as well as Mouse Sports, Renegades, and one other. Crazy. Thank you. There we go. See, I knew I almost had that figured out. We were doing so good there for a moment.
It was almost perfect.
Yeah. We've got Sean, we've got Chad. There you go. It is crazy enough that Crazy are in this position that they actually have fought this valiantly, and they actually play against Liquid today. So it is a big day. It is the final day to get the Legends spot, the champion stage, locked in.
Yeah, indeed. And we have a lot of teams that are showing ups and downs. I think this opening match between Renegades and G2, if you were to ask me coming into this stage, I would say G2 is fire hot, right? They should be able to win this easy. Renegades on the up, though, in this stage. The next game, though, it's like a heartbreaker, in my opinion, right? You don't want to see Mouse versus Liquid go at it to decide who makes it to the next stage, but that's what we have. I mean, both teams failing to close out so far.
You have to look how they got to this point as well, right? Mouse Sports lost their opening game to FaZe on Mirage, which would normally say is a home map for them. So I guess if you've made your bed, you've got to lie in it, and these teams have to battle their way out here. Liquid, they only started to look good yesterday towards the tail end of that North series. We saw the smiles creep back in, the confidence there too. But Renegades, just to know, I know we're going to get into it more later, they've only lost to NRG and Avantgarde in this stage, two teams who are already through to the champion section.
You touched as well on we've obviously talked a lot about player break, but Chad, you touched on teams kind of getting momentum going, maybe Liquid starting to doubt themselves at the end of the player break if practice wasn't going well. And we know that they like the momentum. They certainly were playing off of it for the majority of 2019. Is it possible that it just kind of took them a couple games in succession, a couple maps to get rolling? In other words, best of ones weren't enough to really shake off the cobwebs.
Potentially, because when you look at the way they play Counter-Strike, sure, they have all these little contingencies in place. They understand how to play the game very well as a team. But the highest thing on their list is being good individuals, right? And then they can play off each other. The confidence, Naf going to push in, well, Stewie's going to follow him. But if you lose confidence in yourself and your teammates, then you're not going to take the same risk. You're not going to take the same chances, and you fall back on the crutch of strategies. And we saw that yesterday.
I think that the other point, going back to yesterday, we have to touch on quickly because we're going to move forward very fast into today's games. Crazy, that was an amazing performance against Astralis. Arguably the game of the tournament so far. In fact, I would just go ahead and say that it was remarkable. Chad and I were casting beside Anders, and we couldn't even hear our own game because he was going so insane with the overtimes as they were. That said, we start today, Renegades versus G2. Both teams are set up on the floor and therefore standing by with Smix.
Thank you very much, Sadakis, standing here with Kasat, the coach of the Renegades, who have had a roller coaster journey. It's no secret that you had a very, very productive boot camp coming in, and then suddenly the team found themselves in the position of being 0-2. So after feeling confident and having such expectations, what was the morale of the team like?
I mean, at like 0-2, it was like a little bit, scary. I wouldn't say maybe it was like depressing or something, but it was definitely scary because we felt really good before coming in this tournament. And 0-2 is not the way you want to start right now, but now we're 2-2 fighting for that legend spot, so we feel really good. Confidence is back where it was, so we feel really, really good.
And so many of the games have been close. Let's talk most recently about FaZe. Interestingly enough, every time you play FaZe, it's so close. In fact, before the major, 4 out of the 6 maps you guys played against one another ended 16-14. What do you think it is that always makes it such a close series?
I don't know, it's pretty unbelievable, right? Even on scrims when we play them, it's always 16-14, 15-15, every single time. I don't know what it is, but we always play close games. It's like, it has to be like that. I mean, both teams are playing good, so, it's close always.
And the final map came down to Vertigo. Your team was down 5-10. That was a huge uphill climb that you had to complete. What was the mentality of the team like?
Again, it was scary at 5-10. We were like, yeah, we have to win this pistol. I mean, that T side that we had always, it was, again, post plans that we need to, fix, that we need to, close. And we kind of made some mistakes there in positioning, but we discussed it after the game. It was fine. And the other half, like I said, we needed to win that pistol. Everything was rolling after that, and we managed to climb back from 14-11 after a few mistakes here and there, but we managed to we were pretty confident on that map. So.
Well, there's no doubt that the journey you've had has been a huge learning lesson in many different ways, and now G2 stand in your way. If you want to make it to that legend spot, what are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, G2, ever since they added Amanek, they have been looking better and better. So we faced them, I think, twice in Dallas. They beat us in the best of 1 against 16-14 for the millionth time. And then I think it was the same match here just for the playoffs. And we were 1-1 and they beat us 16-14 on the third map again, I think. So again, we expect a close match. They're a really good team, and we have a lot of respect for them and for the individuals that are playing there, like Shox and Kenny. And it's gonna be a good game, I think.
Sounds fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts, and good luck today, Kassad.
It is always close between these two teams. That's what Kassad says, and I think that's what the statistics show. It shall be close today, I imagine, as well. But we get into best of threes, which bring us a few more maps, one of which, Chad, you were already critical of.
Well, Vertigo versus Avantgarde in the post-plant situations that he was just alluding to was abysmal. They just kept walking A, executing, and then allowing the passive player to come in from Avantgarde and then retake instead of, maybe flanking someone middle, maybe, planning in a better spot so you can play a different post-plant scenario. He said they fixed it. Let's hope they fixed it, because I think Vertigo could even crop up in this best of three.
I think so too, and that match yesterday against FaZe, yes, they won 16-14, but they needed a 1-on-4 and a 1-on-3 to get it over the finish line, right?
I think Jacob had like 30 kills as well.
Yeah, they needed a phenomenal, tons of individual efforts to get across that finish line yesterday against FaZe, and they're gonna have to do the same thing today, right? We've heard from all these teams that Renegades is the best team in scrims on Vertigo.
It's true.
So are they gonna be afraid to pick it?
I don't think the Renegades will be afraid to pick anything, because the camera's just gone off me here. as I've revealed the shirt. Now, gags don't normally go the way that you expect first thing in the morning, ladies and gentlemen. These aren't scripted. We don't have a production meeting. Actually, we just rock in and we try and do things that are funny. And unfortunately for me,
it's hilarious.
I'm the one who's getting laughed at right now. But
it's fine. They'll see it in a moment.
I'm all for Renegades in this series. Now, I am going to, of course, carry in a little bit of bias to this, right?
Yes.
Let's be honest with it. I played with JKS and Azza back in the day. I've seen what these guys have had to go through to get to this point. They represent all of Australia. There are people staying up right now who have stayed up every single night to watch these guys play. So yeah, I'm gonna be a little bit biased. But on the other side of things, you heard me say it before, Renegades have only lost to NRG 16-14 and Avantgarde 16-13, the two teams who are already through to the playoff stage.
Yeah, exactly that, and very narrow margins. This could be a much different storyline if you were, I don't know, a couple rounds difference. Keep in mind as well, in Katowice, they didn't get the credit that Ents did because Ents made the final.
True.
But their run to get into the top 8 and the form that they had, they were the second biggest story for me in that tournament, right up until, unfortunately, Ents overshadowed them heavily.
And an unbiased opinion of mine, someone that's not wearing a Renegades jersey and doesn't have an Australian flag hanging out his back pocket.
We need to get the camera back in the studio just for a second.
I actually think Renegades has played a better Legend stage than G2, right? I think G2 has looked pretty bad, if you're asking me. They should have won that series.
Hello, everybody.
That series yesterday against Avantgarde.
We're back.
And now they're going against a red-hot Renegades team. And what's crazy for me is the G2 team in this stage, Shox and Kenny haven't showed up. In the Challenger stage, they were the top statistically.
Yes.
In this stage, they are the worst on the team statistically.
Yesterday on Overpass, when they were losing to Avantgarde, they took all 4 of their tactical timeouts in the first half.
It was unreal.
In the first half.
Yeah.
That is a sign right there that their game plan is not going well. So if that happens again in any game like this, even if the rounds aren't, cascading in the same fashion, you know that whatever they had planned is not working.
You are absolutely right pointing out the fact that Shox and Kenny are down near the bottom. I think Lucky had an excellent game yesterday, but I think Jax has been the highlight of the tournament. We've touched on that. All in all, I think it is the young talent coming through for them in this stage, and it's been very impressive. We're kind of harping on the mistakes that the teams have made, and rightfully so, because if you fix those mistakes, you should advance today. But the positive signs are that, from what we've seen from G2, map pool's decent, and you've got young guns firing on all cylinders.
They're not really that young. That's the thing.
Fair
They're new to the team,
yes,
but they're actually quite old.
Yeah.
But
and Jax are, 25 plus, right?
I think
Wait,
Jax is like
old?
27.
That's old?
Well, in Counter-Strike. Look at us, we don't play.
I'm like a fossil, so.
I wonder if the veto is going to go the same as it did in Dallas. Renegades banned Overpass, G2 banned Mirage. I expect those to be the standard ones, but this is where the picks get interesting.
We were talking about this, and we wanted to see a Vertigo nuke pop up right here. That would be bonkers in a best of 3.
I was going to say, Vertigo could absolutely
there
get
we go.
It's
going to happen, isn't it?
It's going to happen. Come on.
Overpass banned out takes a feather out of the cap of G2 right away, so that left it in.
Let us explain why we think... Oh, wow. What are they doing? Oh. Renegades yesterday on Nuke got flattened 16-3,
Renegades has to ban Nuke here. Yep.
They've just been gifted Dust 2, right? Last time these guys faced, even though it was in Dallas, Renegades won this map 16-14. That was with Gratisfaction back for like a couple of days practice. We know G2 are a good team on this map, but all they do on their CT side is play retake. There's so many ways around that. So if Renegades have identified that, and they play a good Vertigo, it could even be a 2-0.
We talk about this oftentimes, is that when one team wins on a map and then the other team picks it, usually the team that lost identifies the mistakes. 16-14, it's close. You might just say, we'll get him next time. Do you think the G2's actually identified it, or are they just hoping that, it's their home map and
So
they'll go with
I
it?
still favor G2 on Dust 2. I'm not going to lie. They had such strong T sides throughout this stage, and it's really easy to just tinker a couple things and fix your CT side as opposed to your T side.
True.
And I've been a fan of G2's Dust 2 for a long time now. I mean, I made a video of it, which I swiftly deleted at the last meter. And I was praising them left and right for all of their different looks. So I like the pick. It shows confidence. But Renegades has a chance, I mean, if they played all 3 maps, to win all 3 maps.
Yeah. This is definitely wide open right now, and I want to point a bit of credit to Liaz for them getting to this point, right? Normally he's down the bottom of the scoreboard for Renegades, but this tournament, he's been having an absolutely blistering time, especially in the games that they've won there. I think the GG bet odds are actually not as fair as what I'm considering this match to be. I can understand why the viewers at home would be leaning in the favor of G2.
There's some branding there.
Yeah, and not only that, they have been, it looks on paper like they've been winning,
82 to 18 on the strafe.
Look, we only have
again,
24 million, 26 million now.
In some of these votes, I'll be the first to say it is fans of loyalty following their desire rather than their logic.
Well,
so the fact that the strafe app to me is more of a fanfare than it is sometimes about who's going to win it, if that makes sense. In other words, G2 is a lot more popular. You'd expect them to see them in that position. However, as Kassad said in the interview, 16-14, 15-15, they're always close in practice and in scrims.
The origin of fan is Fnatic, right? Or Fanatical.
Yes.
So that explains why people at home don't know what they're talking about. When we get
Says the man in the jersey.
No bias.
I get some of the last words here. Well, Matt technically gets the last word, but I get a couple of them. I think moving into Vertigo right now, we saw the Mousesports versus G2 game earlier in the tournament, right? And some of the things that, Mouse did really well was taking that B lobby control. I don't know if Renegades are going to come into this with the same game plan as what they did on their T side versus Avantgarde. I really hope not, because that was really poor.
It's flat. It was very flat. It was a lot of A hits just time and time again. It looked like what you would see on the old Vertigo, right? We expected to see a lot of new tactics on the T side, and Renegades didn't give that to us. Now, if that worked for them in practice, maybe they're in the know and, we have no idea what we're talking about.
Is Vertigo momentum based still, based on side? In other words, where
don't
it's a
think
new
so.
map, meta's not established, you want to start CT, is it like Nuke?
I think it'll be CT-sided.
Yeah,
over the long run.
In the long run, I can see that, right? Once everybody works out the proper aggressive moves, if you take territory correctly, yeah. Right now, I think it's just split. It's going to be so game style dependent. Can you adapt to what the opponent's doing? That's what this map comes down to right now, because it's still technically in the unknown.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a huge amount of development. I've just realized now that the red on the Renegades jersey is actually a silhouette of the hat spread out to be bigger. I've just clued into that now.
I don't know.
It's like the logo spread out, see?
Not seeing it.
You don't see it?
No.
I'll explain it to you after.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah, see?
Wow.
It's the hat. It's just a big... I just realized that.
Layers on this.
I designed this. So
Did you?
yeah,
Wow,
it makes
you
sense.
are an artiste. Yeah. I can agree. Best of 3, G2 versus Renegades. Winner goes on. Victor gets to celebrate. Unfortunately, the losing side bows out and returns to this stage in the next event. 255 days to the next major. Map number 1. Where are we going with this one, guys? Vertigo to start.
Look, obviously, like I said, I'm going to be a little bit biased today. I'm going to go with the Renegades.
I think, based on form in this stage, I have to side with Renegades.
All right, Renegades for Vertigo. They're the ones that picked it. They took Overpass away from G2 to get it there. To get us into the game, we must switch over to our casters, the lovely Henry G and Machine for map number 1.
Thank you so much, Sadakist and co. Yes, Sponge, that is a beautiful jersey.
I love the unveiling of it.
The unveiling
that
really
was
got
the
me on the
best
edge of my
part.
seat.
That really got me going. Like, we caught all the action as it took place. That was exciting.
It really was. And we have an exciting prospect ahead of us. Not only Vertigo, which we are slight fans of, but also, the fact Renegades clearly have got somewhat of a leniency towards it as well. They're picking it on a do-or-die game for the major top 8.
This is going to be a spicy one.
Yeah.
Renegades are looking like they're pretty sharp. They've had some defeats here for sure, but if you look down at the teams they've actually lost to, NRG, it was a 16-14 game in Dust 2. They're going to be playing Dust 2 in the second map. That's surprising. And it's actually got this pool. I actually agree with Chad there. It looks like G2 are going to have their work cut out for them here. Their Vertigo wasn't fantastic against Mousesports either. Like,
That's a good point.
Right? They seem like they've had a couple of days to kind of watch other teams on it now and kind of bring some new ideas into their approach, but I don't think it'll be a complete overhaul.
Yeah, but not to use your own words against you, every time we've seen Vertigo, your observation was it's changing, it's evolving,
absolutely.
and I'm sure G2 are going to have lots of kind of evolutions that we may get to analyze and discuss.
I suppose we can only really speculate about that.
Certainly.
But from what we saw last time, it seems that they've got a lot of work to do in it. Renegades had a decent result against FaZe on this map yesterday. Let's see what can be done, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. We've got 3 best of 3s to bring you today. This is the first one.
Three
it will
mollies?
be 3 Molotovs. What have they got planned here? You're absolutely right. So you can Molotov. Shox is going to do it now. You can Molotov towards the... Oh,
Okay,
I was going to go
corner.
for the close corner. That's pretty good. I thought it was going to go to a toolbox, but there we go. And now they're trying to gain that mid control.
So 3 Molotovs into the pistol. That's 3 unarmored, 4, excuse me,
Yeah, you're
unarmored
right.
Ts.
Very technical approach here.
Now that's an interesting one. Just going to be the Kevlar on Amanek, who has been somewhat of their mechanical backbone. A late arrival to Fork. JKS, he's been spotting it and will fire off a couple of shots. None to connect just yet. See if Kevlar starts to be a problem. JKS reserved, just taps away at the head of Lucky.
Yeah, that was very nice indeed. They'll continue with their contact play here. Interested to see where these smokes finish up. We didn't see this from G2 the other day. Oh, that's
Ooh,
quite nice.
steal.
I like that a lot.
Let's see that from where they land.
Wow, look at that. That's insane.
I am stealing. Smoke elevator, Molly, so they can't swing. Now Jacob has to try and catch what would be the plant grab now through the smoke, but Jacob's there to trade. Amanek, he does get the bomb down, but it costs him his life. Just Shox, no armor, just the Glock, and a triple peek. This is going to be the Renegades finding the first.
Well, it's a clean round from Renegades there, but G2 have certainly done their homework. We did not see that against Mousesports a few days ago, so that's really interesting. What a lovely sequence that was from Kenny to get the smoke towards elevators, then the Molotov in front of any CT's pushing through. Should be in trouble at that point, though. It's Jacob arriving towards the shelf. The bomb does go down, but he finds 2 players in the back, managing to get the third as well. Clean finish.
Cruel irony that the one player with Kevlar gets body shot to death.
Yes, exactly.
From behind.
So it was a very technical approach. It was quite interesting, but you could see how squishy they were when they're trying to get that bomb down, just melting at the hands of the USP there. But G2, with the bomb planted, will be buying up with 2 AK-47s. We talked about this all tournament long, Alex. These sort of rounds seem to be working a lot. Like 75% of the time, victories seem to be coming in with these AKs.
Intrigued to know where they choose to invest their resources. For now, it does seem like, oh, Gratisfaction is going to have some
Nice
contact
moves.
early. He's got support as well. The SMG's charging in. They weren't ready for the rifles, but I don't know if that's gone well for G2. With the control now foregone, JKM has access. He knows there's an AK on the floor as well. He's going to want to try and stop that from being retrieved. Shox miles away from that kind of approach. Another one towards middle as well. Just Lucky perhaps going to be on that mission, but wow, very early as the dust settles.
I like that from Renegades, though. You know they're going to be buying up that second round. Take your MP9s. You can see that drop down for Gratisfaction as well. You get right up there as his teammates took the aggro. He came in from the left. Kenny has had to hit the 1 dig after getting the first kill. 3 versus 3. Jacob holding towards a forklift.
Yeah, Kenny really saved G2. That could very quickly, if he hadn't have connected that first pistol shot, been a clean double kill for the CTs. Instead, things will slow down, understandably so. Level odds, not level in the weapon department. And the bomb was on the back of Amanek in mid, so initial resistance presenting would be coming from Azza. 40 seconds as Lucky's going to rejoin his squad towards mid.
Yeah, that's the play here. They still have those smokes and put them into control. That's absolutely right. Amanek's got that. They can smoke off towards that lobby position. We saw that yesterday. Just going to swing out and face it, though. It's actually worked out quite nicely. Azza can't justify challenging that position once again as they go in towards B here. Liaz will take down 1. Pressure onto Azza now. Can he deny the plant? Needs to try and buy some time. Pushes the Molotov and does get the dink off, but Lucky trying to protect the planter here. It's worked out quite nicely, but the trade will come in. 1 versus 1 of Jacob.
AK and a smoke. Shox. And equalize so early on. We'd said the second rounds are deadly, and G2, they've handled this with beautiful grace. Jacob crossing to the site does have the kit, no less. He's going to clear out towards the catwalk. I don't know if Shoxy's actually anticipating this cross already. Does adjust and connect. Nice work from Shox. He gets a double kill. Does what Kenny did at the start to finish.
Well, there we have it. It will be 1-1. It's the AK-47s buying up in the second round. That works out once again. Shoxy plays it very well in the final few moments there. He obviously didn't have the information that Jacob crossed over. Snaps, though, towards the catwalk. Takes him down. Great work from Shoxy here. That was a big kill. Good trading. And a nice adjustment there. Jacob almost had him. Couldn't quite land the shot, though. As we get into a force buy on the CT side, Renegades going to fight back with CZs and Deagles. UMP for Azza. Have they got anything aggressive here? This is Gratisfaction jump again. Bear that one in mind. As we'll see him get towards the forklift position again. Going to try to smoke towards the bridge.
Look at the paranoia it's going to cause already. You have to be conscious of income missing the CTs. Could be around. Look how much T utility is being invested just to take this fight. And JKS, he's brawling. So is Graz Faction, 2 falling. Jax, Shocks, they're gone, and they double up another one. 2 for the New Zealander, just Lucky and Amanek. With the MAC-10s, Amanek just going to be playing on this railing, does have some degree of an off angle, could still get caught by the rifles though, but mows down Jacob as he went to retrieve the rifle. Oh, and another. Lucky dunks JKS.
Still have control of the bomb.
4 though, Henry.
Yeah. 2 MAC-10s against 2 AKs here. Advantage for Renegades, that's for sure. They have the bomb, and we know this forklift position can be very strong indeed. They're going to have to come up with something here to backstab as they head towards the B site. Here they'll go through CT spawn, presumably, through the A site. Try and drop down behind them. Try and make it close range. I assume they'll get the shelf and just drop down together.
I always wonder who makes the call in this one. You know, I imagine it's the voices in the round. Lucky and Amanek putting their heads together and deciding the dank flank would be the smartest move, especially given the weaponry. But who's responsible? If Graz Faction is going to be on playing Fork, it will be Azza. Going to be watching the back.
Yeah, so you can see he's watching towards the ramp right now. He'll have a slight advantage if they do go for the quick drop down, but they can walk out on that railing, and they are going to drop. Nice movement from Amanek, and it comes down to the 1 versus 1, and Lucky wins it somehow.
4 in the round.
With a MAC-10.
A dunk on the nade as well, catching JKS. That's going to be a face palm for Renegades. They felt like they did all of the hard work to start that round off.
Yeah, they thought the bridge was clear. They overcommitted, potentially trying to re-smoke it there. Could have held the crossfires, but it was a lovely move there from G2 to drop down. Didn't think they would have the chance to actually get both the kills. Thought that'd be traded out. And we'll have a look at Lucky's play here. This is how he opened things up.
Just peppering away at them. That nade straight to the back of Fork.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
See the second kill from Lucky because he was up against a rifle there.
Yeah.
Azza perhaps fluffing his lines a little bit there. Graz Faction, however, does manage to put up some resistance with just the USPs. I can't quite believe it. 2, 3 frags with just the full eco. He's going to try and get himself an AK. Does so now. Lucky's giving him a fight, but no armor, no hope. A very quick one. Blink and you miss it. If you may have just looked away from your screen for the last 12 seconds, well, a round has happened, and G2 have got their 3rd.
Yes, they do win that one, and we'll see where this leads us. That's the full eco for Renegades there. They're going to be buying up into this with JKS on the AWP, no less. Does he throw it over to Graz? I'm not so sure. JKS has been the secondary AWP of Renegades. We talked about this earlier in the week. Fantastic rifler, and certainly capable of using the sniper. He'll be using glass cannon as well, so he must be confident in his own ability. Heading over towards the A-ramp, can drop down, use the sandbags here. Same jump from Grad, trying to get towards the scaffolding here.
They really want to contest ramp. Oh, and Jacob using that spot. We saw Zaiwu use oh so well yesterday. But this is a whole different take on the CT side, Henry. When we were watching it yesterday, we noticed how passive the likes of FaZe were approaching
exactly,
it. Mouse Sports.
Yeah, so Mouse Sports especially, you just have Carrigan right back towards the A side with his smoke, just trying to buy time. This is a very different approach. You're trying to suggest that A's under lock and key. They can't push towards it. They're going to have to work really hard. Then you can start mixing your setups up when you feel like they've kind of given up at that position.
You start hearing them use all their utility to clear out spots you don't have to sit in.
Then when you want to go challenge towards middle, for example, they're going to still use their grenades towards A. And JKS, happy to hold this now. You can see they get control at the start.
Are they going to have Jax? Oh, he could have gone into the box. It still would have been a very hard shot. I don't think he'd have the line of sight.
So it's a nice angle for JKS. Remember, they have to go past the sandbags to get past this now. So,
a good point. They could boost up.
Or they could boost up, that's for sure.
Flash high. JKS anticipating it. No. Oh, it's a collateral. 2 kills, 1 bullet.
That will do.
That's enough. Just like that, the rug pulled from beneath the French. Amanek shocks behind enemy lines somewhat. Grat may not be ready for that, and he's just seen him. Takes the fight regardless.
Yeah, well, there we go. Shoxy will bring one back. Smoking towards the squeaky door. They're trying to make his way back towards ladder room, I would assume. Could go towards the window as well. Amanek trying to make his way towards that B site, but it's going to be Liaz that finds the bomb. Shoxy have to jump up now. 14 seconds. Very little chance he can do much with this, but let's see. It's going to be Liaz with a nice clean finish there. 2 kills in the round, and that was a glass cannon all for JKS that yields a double kill.
Lovely.
Towards that A ramp. That's not bad at all. More than he bargained for.
I mean, if he hadn't played anti-flash for that, he gets nothing. Or a lucky one through the flashbang, but take the look at this. Catches a glimpse of it, has the sound cue, is quick enough to adjust and find Lucky and Jax holding hands as they advance towards A.
Well, there we have it, 3-2. Looks like both teams are up for this. G2 certainly done their homework. If that pistol round was anything to go by. A bit of a partial investment here. We are going to see Shoxy on the Deagle, a couple of flashes, initial incendiary from the CTs here to stop the rush, and then once they feel comfortable, drop the smoke on top of it. and get the maximum amount of time they can out of
Oh,
that smoke.
that nade. That is brutal.
Oh, that one
Napalm
turns well.
dropped on towards G2. And it keeps coming. Now looking to cross. Liaz is going to get himself a lovely double to start things off. As it's throwing flashbangs and lead down towards the B stairs. You can see just how difficult it can look. 4 in the round. Quad kill by Liaz, and nice and equal 3-3.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. If you can do that much damage without seeing anyone, that's fantastic. The 2 HEs do a lot of work there, and a pretty simple procedure to close things out. Round 7 coming in to be the first tactical timeout. I would say this was called by G2, considering they've lost a few rounds in a row now, but we are all tied up. It's going to be 3-3, and there is money there, but there will be compromises. Kenny S with 3,600, and Shox has 5,700, so are they going to go with some MAC 10s? We know Amanek likes to use those. Maybe that's the call. He's trying to work this out.
Alec on the mic, as well as, of course, Kassad. We had a great interview with him there, just talking about going 0-2. But upon review, as the Des did cover, the teams they lost to in those best of ones are already locked in for the Champions stage.
No one expected much out of Avangard, but
Certainly.
now they're one of the first teams through to the final 8. You know, that's insane.
And playing Counter-Strike that gets your heart beating. I mean, we were watching that game on Overpass, and
That was great.
We were converted.
Yeah, that was a really cool game. They had a fantastic CD side. They are a dangerous squad. Speaking of danger, Renegades jumping down toward that A round once again. They want to fight for this every single round, but they've got Kenny S to deal with this time. Can Kenny pre-fire the sandbags here? He knows it's a common position.
It's such a hard shot to hit.
Yeah, you're right. It's so precise. You've got to find that lineup quickly.
Yeah, give this some time. You know Kenny's going to have some sort of lineup. A quick peek, and Gratifaction's the one with the quick one.
That's not bad.
Pushes straight down the ramp, gets the timing, gets the frag, and gets his weapon of choice. A double AWP going to be brought into Renegade's play.
He's such a talented player, Grat. That's a really confident move. We'll have a 5-on-3 now. Shoxy, no helmet as well, just to note that. They have got 1 smoke remaining, but a 5 versus 2 double AWP setup. Renegades don't really have to challenge too much, just hold the crossfires. Amanek trying to get his way towards the squeaky door position. Does he dare go through? Does make a noise, of course. Aptly named.
Boosting, I think, over the smoke, yeah. Not be finding anything from that one, and making plenty of sound during that process. So that's information Amanek can convey to Shox and Lucky, who are forging a path towards B. Molotov will flush Azza out. No, I tell a lie. Didn't
quite land.
Didn't quite head towards quad.
That's actually locked them out, if anything.
Oh yeah, and the CTs have rotated. Amanek, though, swings the door open confidently. Catching J-Chem, keeps them things level only for a moment. Azza's going to keep things back and forth. He can just jiggle around. We saw RPK giving us a great example of how that works. Lucky's not going to be lucky enough. Oof. Nice hold from the CTs.
Yeah, absolutely
Gratifaction,
is.
though.
That wasn't bad, was it? So he pushing down towards that A ramp. You can see Kenny thought he was like 1 step ahead of the push because he was in front of the smoke and the flashbang, just about avoided it, but Gratiffaction just completely destroyed him upon entry. Gets the double kill, pushes him back towards that B site, and pretty underwhelming finish there from G2. The missed Molotov pretty much was the end of the round at that point. They locked themselves out of the bomb site. They were aiming that towards quad, which probably would have worked out. Azza was there ready and waiting. That could have got them a trade at least.
Certainly could.
So back to pistols, pretty much full eco here. And Azza, first one to defend, looking for 1 kill. He does damage, but doesn't quite find it. They don't recover the rifle, and they decide to fall back here, but JKS completely destroys Shoxy there. It's going to be 4-on-4, Amanek on 4 HP. Jack's been tagged up as well, and they go back towards the B site. No armor, no nades, walking into a very difficult scenario here.
JKS does seem to have an affinity for anything with a scope. Scout, SG, AUG, and of course that AWP, which is starting to really do damage. 8 frags, top of the scoreboard. Lucky finds a way in.
Damn.
Just Gratiffaction. He has the AWP as well. He can get overwhelmed. And G2, with just pistols, no armor, are starting to make a real go at this round. Amanek extends it. This is so typical of the samurai, the French samurai that is G2.
Well, there it is. A snowball turns into an avalanche after 1 deagle headshot toward that B side. That is not something you can replicate every single round, but if it does come through, they find that opening kill, they're going to pounce with those CZs and deagles. You can see the rotations coming through, that double AWP setup, really not ideal to try and retake that situation. And we'll see if Jacob's got anything to say about this. Just looking for some exit kills here. 2 AWPs on the T side for G2 here. Jackson Kenny holding on to those. I guess if you come in with a PP50 or a Glock, might as well take that. There's one of the AWPs removed. And Jacob just going to hold towards T-Sport now.
Lucky finding that deagle connection. Just gives them a way in. God, that's going to be frustrating for Liaz.
Yeah, and that stage of the round, he against pistols as well, he'd be more than comfortable to hold that bomb site by himself, just get information,
Certainly.
jiggle back towards the Jennies, but overall. If you get the headshot like that, there's nothing you can really do about it. That's just an amazing shot that won't land most of the time. You're normally safe to hold that angle in that scenario, but there we have it, 4-4, and a tactical timeout, I would assume, for Renegades at this stage. Here's the replay. Jax getting it done, the initial kill. This is when the round wasn't that scary, because you were like, okay, just against pistols here, but then Grat trying to retake the side with the AWP, that's when it started to fall apart, and we get into round number 9 here. Last day of this stage, Alex.
It certainly is, yeah. Could an argument be made that, you know, it started to spiral when Azza didn't take one on that duel on mid as well?
For me, when I see players operating towards middle, you need to throw the incendiary at the very start just to push that rush back. So if they do fully commit, you can get there before them. You can just get the incendiary down the corner.
Right.
Then you can actually stop the rush. If you put no utility there at all, you're just challenging for that first kill. You haven't really given yourself the maximum chance, especially when you think they're going to be ecoed. That incendiary, I think, has to come in every round. Oh, he's ready for it.
We knew it was coming. Kenny lines it up. Takes down Jacob, nice and quick. The Norwegian forced to watch now. JK, yes, he has been such a figure holding this. Oh, and Kenny got the info. That was a boost, and now they're going to try again. I don't think JKS is ready for this. This is going to blow his head off. Quick one from Kenny.
Or his kneecap.
Does slice at his Achilles heel, but still living, limping. We're going to see some more very interesting developments as Vertigo continues to see play.
Yeah, I certainly agree. Well, JKS tagged, Jacob removed, and the double up set up out once again. Renegades.
Oh, they jump for info here. He knows it.
I think Leaz must have spotted him. That reaction suggests he has. So, Gratisfaction will rotate in. Struggled to hold them off before. Full utility for G2. Is it a contact play? They're taking damage here. Kenny has down to 3 HP. Lucky on 0.
Good connection. As his flashes are raining in as well. JKS still with that low HP. Kenny did the damage, but JKS is still fighting, still kicking. JKS right to retreat because that nade was hot on his heels. Keeping moving, G2 with 20 seconds. They're starting to change it around. This is Kenny's smoke. Oh, that's not Kenny's smoke.
He's put a couple of days' work into it. It looked great in the pistol.
It certainly did. JKS, though, he's still kicking. Could he really find another? Gratisfaction's doing some great work on towards Amber. Nextrox, however, does get that bomb down. You can't really contest. Actually, he faked it. Oh, and a flick from JKS. Kenny's left all alone to find 3. No time, no hope. Surely 3 seconds, 2 seconds, just around the corner in time.
Yes, Kenny knew he had to go for the kill there. There was a very small window of opportunity, but fantastic work from JKS. What a stunning shot that was to actually deny the plant and indeed the round. There was no time for Kenny to actually do anything with that one. Renegades just about edge lead there with 5-4. G2 saved the AWP. There's enough money to buy, and here's the replay. That was the opening kill from Kenny. He did see JKS as well, legged him, but then JKS lived and then managed to hit this remarkable shot to win in the round.
So many flicks in that round. Yeah. JKS the AWPer, Kenny with the 180 from the Goblin box to elevator. Not bad at all. Again with the aggressive CT hold.
Yeah, no AWP for JKS this time. He's going to be baiting towards a corner. Jacob there, nice incendiary to allow them to fight here. Shock surely dropped. That's the Desert Eagle removed, and Jackson is AK2.
This does look like a promising way to keep the T's at bay. Got one tucked in close right, so you can't really advance, and Kenny trying to hit the wall bangs. Gets pushed and hits the no-scope instead.
He's the one applying the pressure. And JKS blinks, feels like he has to swing, gets a taste of the quick scope, and we'll see a 4 versus 3, but Kenny knows other players will be here. Gratisfaction knows he doesn't really have to commit to this necessarily. They love to be active on this ramp. They don't want to hold back on the bomb site here at all.
Information is everything. The Renegade Secret Service. Get the info, get away, get an opportunity to take the head off Lucky, but not to connect. For now, Gratisfaction will smoke off ramp. 40 seconds left. What's the utility situation? Lucky with most of it. Likely going to barrage some flashbangs in alongside Kenny S. They're going to be committing to this one. CTs have the majority of their players towards the elevator's room. With 20 seconds left, this could get awkward. Not if Gratisfaction walks into Kenny's scope, though. Now the smokes land, and Jacob, he's been dinked. The damage is all done already. G2 make 20 seconds look like a lifetime. Still 17 on the clock as Kenny is on fire today.
Yeah, that's more like it. Kenny S putting on a clinic right now of the AWP. Liaz, surely nothing to do with this one. He has no kit, one flashbang, has got 100 HP, but why would they challenge him? They've got all the advantages in the world at this point. And he'll make his way in towards the sights, and Amanek is ready and waiting. Kenny S is looking superb.
That's intimidating form. He started that round dealing with CT pushes with quick scopes. He's then concede, not only doing that, but keeping the bomb planter safe. He nearly won a 1v3 with 1 second left the round prior. He's feeling hot today.
So look at this, he baits him out with a potential wallbang there, then continues to quickscope, nails it, takes down the AWPer towards elevators, and this was just a fantastic shot. Cool as a cucumber as well. It's going to be Kenny S looking very calm as we get into a force buy for Renegades. They're rushing towards that A round once again. It's Kenny S to try and defend. Do they dare go any further? It's nice work from Shoxy here. This time successful in fending off the push.
You know, Kenny's playing well, or he's in his zen state where you just don't see him showing any expressions. The amount of times we cut to his player like hams and, you know, we joke about how it's very easy to tell how he's feeling. Well, not when he's gaming. And he has certainly got his gaming shoes and cap on today.
Yeah, let's see if he can nail the smoke, though.
So the lineup's just above the cloud.
That's
jump.
More like it. There we go. So it's a crouch jump throw. See how that works. Very nice indeed. That's really, really cool.
Nice cam as well.
Yeah, and you're protected as well. You're not vulnerable to any shots coming in.
Almost completely safe. That molly, however, from Shox does not quite land. The smoke plumed. This is going to be a very common smoke. Really does destabilize the CT crossfire.
What a safe plant that is. You've got the Molotov down, you're planting that time frame. There's nothing the CTs can do, at least from that angle.
Yeah, which is when you start having that conversation of, you know, when can they apply the pressure from behind? It's that fork. As long as you have one player there, it just feels like you're completely locked out.
That's why they do the double Molotov as well. So the first one is to push the CT off that position initially. Then you follow it up with the second Molotov. Then when you go for the plant, just to guarantee they can't ever even think about challenging that with a flash push or anything like that.
Right, and then you post up. You have like someone like Jax. You can see there watching the boost, which is their kind of the CT reaction to a smoke like that. And then snipers, I suppose, is something else. You can get your AWPer towards sandbags and cover that off. Suddenly, that bomb goes down comfortably.
Well, there we have it. 5 players there for G2 now. 6-5 on their T side. It's going to have to be the partial for Renegades. I can see. Well, that's the save CZ, actually. So they might even take this full eco for the others. At $1,900, Alex. Basically means you can't invest anything to this round. But JKS has got an incendiary and a smoke and an HE from the previous and a diffuse kit. So not all is lost. We've seen plenty of eco victories. And yeah, might as well rush around. If Kenny's going to challenge there with the AWP, I guess just jump down and see what you can do with those CZs.
They've got other plans, though. Towards middle they go.
Middle's a very viable position to push.
Now, if they jump across with that USP, no, JKS just wants to take the fight, anticipating presence close. Amanek should be shrugging this one off. Getting pushed, though. Let's catch another one. Realizes the fight's coming to him, and Liaz eventually whittles away at that mid-hold. The damage is done, though. Likely want to keep hold of that Krieg. If he's given anything, see if Jacob can find anything. I giggle, because that is an unarmored USP. He's already highlighted as to why. Taking any chances here, G2 just also getting into the habits of their utility take. You can see it's not perfect. A gap for Liaz, and he exploits it. Jack's caught. Surely just a consolation prize. Kenny's going to be trained on that. Jiggling, and another opportunity presents itself. Liaz.
Here we go.
3 kills. They came into this with just pistols.
He was up to this yesterday as well. Plenty of clutches from him, significant ones as well. And this would be no different. If he can win them their eco here, that would be a 6-6 scoreline. Their money be back on track. And right now, it looks like they have a slight advantage. We'll see. AWP posted towards sandbags. That's Kenny S. Jacob, however, only with the USP as they wait with the bomb down.
27 Renegades. They know that this is where G2 are going to finish. Liaz still a little paranoid about the back. You can't blame him. And I will remind you that Jacob is in this round. He's just sat silently on this site for 60 seconds. Now,
He times it well, though.
if the communication... Oh, it's just a little close. Catch is lucky with the USP. Now he's got to deal with both targets. Kenny, he's been so good, but 4 bullets. I don't think that's enough. He has to be so precise. He's running out. Just to
No
the
time,
sidearm.
no time.
Jakem's gone, and now all Liaz has to do is survive. 1 second, it's theirs. And Renegades with a CZ75 and a dream.
We always say there's a chance when the CZs are out. They saved 2 of them for the previous round. It doesn't seem like much, but it's enough. As you'll see Leaz do absolute work there and manage to get the Krieg and just run that clock down. G2 being very tentative to their final approach towards the A site. We'll have a look at the kills now. So this is started off with a mid-push, remember. It was a couple of spray downs from Amanek. Looked like the round was under control. Essentially a 5-on-2 eco situation
This
there.
gap, that gap cannot afford, you cannot afford to smoke it like that. That was such a huge advantage for Leaz to exploit. Just in the nick of time. Here they come again. Jacob fell foul to Kenny before, but now JKS is keeping him safe. He does present himself to Jackson. Makes sure he makes good on that promise.
They're both smoking, trying to get out now. The T's and CT's just trying to retreat.
Mutual understanding.
Yeah, he's like, you know what? You can have this one. We'll both leave. How about that?
Later.
So towards the B side. It's a good call from G2, actually. Going to throw the Molotov to try and deny CT access. But Amanek, wow, they'll both get at her. By the looks of things, bit of a sandwich situation.
Yeah, and it's a slight problem for Amanek just because he revealed his location when he didn't need to. Now Jacob will be cognizant of it, pushing now. I would imagine not in that smoke. Instead, he's going to wait for it to clear, try and catch it lucky when it dissipates. JKS with just the AWP, no armor, and he's managed to make it work again. That's his second kill in this round. Amanek's in mid, lucky towards stairs. They're on for the retake. There is no kit in play though. I think that should be enough. Still ticking away, starting to apply pressure. Smoke on towards the bomb, and Jacob gets another one. They need to get on it, and they've done it! Oh, Amanek caught with a bottle in his hands. It's going to be a perfect ace between the two of them, JChem and JKS. They started on A and they finish on B.
It's going to be a real close finish, but it's enough. As we'll see, Renegades just about win that round. That's going to be the most frustrating way to close that round out. You're caught with the grenade in your hand. So close range. He was hoping just to get that Molotov on top of the bomb. If he gets it down, as you saw how close it was, they win the round.
The last two rounds, that's salt in the wound for G2. The way they've lost them.
It's why Counter-Strike's so fun. It's right down to the minutiae there. If he just gets that Molotov off, it's round done. But unfortunately, caught with his trousers down, he will be punished for it. Jacob doing, that's the moment. If he has a half a second more to get the Molotov down, there's no way they get the diffuser. It was less than half a second on the final commitment as they go aggressive once again. JKS this time has the AWP. Same position for Jacob. How many times can he find success? Apparently not anymore. Gratisfaction trying to fall back, and JKS will protect him. Incendiaries exchange. This has been such a keen battle. G2 willing to take it every single time, but it's actually Renegades seemingly to have the upper hand.
JKS is just lining them up. 3 in this round with the AWP. He's treated himself to Kevlar, didn't need it in the round prior in order to find himself a triple kill again. But you're right, yeah, Jacob, he is committed to that fight. It's obviously, if anything, drawing their fire, enabling JKS to swing in. Grat, of course.
That's a very good point, because he's not using the silence M4 there. He essentially wants to be seen, and it's a really difficult shot, as we've noticed. Right. And then they're all trying to focus on it, spamming that one position. As soon as he gets the aggro, that's when JKS swings out, starts picking them off one by one. They're trying to re-peek and get the trades, but it doesn't work out at all. It will be a 4 versus 1 Amanek now in round 14, looking to deny Renegades their 8th round. Of course, will be them winning the half, but I'm not sure there's much he can do about this.
Got the info, and JKS, he gets himself a quad kill in round 14. This was Renegade's map pick, and clear indication as to why, but credit to G2 for finding 6 rounds. Big part of that was the opening play, managing to break Renegades on that second round. That was kind of the equivalent of what Renegades have been doing to G2 in the last.
Well, yeah, they've been winning with CZs and USPs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a confusing first half, but certainly an exciting one, as we'll take the 3rd tactical timeout now for G2 in the 15th round of this first half. 8-6 on the CT Forces Renegades here. Looking like they're very comfortable indeed, and they should be able to pick up this last round as well. I say should with bated breath. You never really know these days. Anything can happen, especially on Vertigo. It's a map that's still in its infancy, I would say. The replay from JKS, like I said, such a great aimer, renowned for his clutching and rifling. Historically, the last year or so, he's picked up the AWP, usually in a secondary capacity, but you could see he's capable of building that weapon full time. So MAC-10s, CZs, this is a very popular approach, and the money is low these days. Actually, can be very effective with the right smokes down. And going towards B, they're going to try and get in quickly or just show presence. It looks like it's the latter as they throw their initial smoke.
The power of that smoke is it enables you to go wide and in. You can get under the stairs.
It's like, it's not like the CT smoke, you throw it just past the entrance. They're actually throwing it on the CT side, so they can actually have a bit of wiggle room to go through if they feel like it.
Renegades are not thrown off by the fact that they doing the same thing. Confident,
What a shutdown this has been, though. If you give control to the T's on the A ramp, they can fully execute. So why not fight this with 3 players? Like, that has been the biggest talking point of Vertigo in general, is the A ramp executions.
We've seen teams completely give up ramp control 90% of the time on their defense. Renegades quite the opposite. And he still gets one and away. JKS, Jack's on the cross. Plucked from the air.
Oh, the good nade.
What? Excuse me? Shock's gone too.
Yeah, he jumped up on the bomb side there and spotted Shoxy, and it's going to be a 5-on-3. JKS has completely dismantled the offense here.
I think French fans need to fear this type of JKS.
Yep.
He is on a tear. 18 frags in the first half of play. He's not necessarily done. Azza's going to be picking up the remaining pieces, or 3 of them in quick succession. And so the half ends 9-6. Renegades map pick.
That was an excellent first half. It had everything. New innovations, some interesting approaches, and some heartbreak with the eco defeats as well. G2 need to pull their socks up after this break.
Do or die for both Renegades and G2. One best of 3 separating them from a long trip home, longer for some, or a trip to the Mercedes-Benz Arena, top 8 at the major, in front of not only the crowd, but also the Counter-Strike community. Battling for legacy. Our machine, he's Henry G, and we're going into the second half of our first map, Renegades. Ooh. Using, I think the word you used, innovation, was nice. We've seen like a new take, an aggressive CT take.
Well, this is why forcing these maps into the pool, by necessity, teams will have to evolve on this. They can't just sit back and just play the defaults. They're going to have to present new ideas. And once you start seeing them, other teams start tweaking them, implementing them into their own game. And that's when the map really starts to get somewhere. As we see 5 players now for Renegades with 2 smokes, a Molotov. We're interested to see if they go for the same sort of approach Kenny S was doing in that pistol. That seems like a really, really nice way to puncture the A side. And it's the exact same one. You can see this is going to be, I assume it will be. Yeah, it is. This is cool. This would be a new standard, I think.
Okay, so crouch and jump. And
same thing with the Molotov.
Same again.
That's so funny they're both doing it. We haven't seen it in this tournament so far.
I feel like they both watched the same YouTube tutorial.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the Astralis plant. Jax could contest. He doesn't. They can play this real nice now, Henry. I'll let you explain why.
Smoke as well on top of the boost box. That's really nice at the back.
Well, yeah, Kenny was completely nullified.
So that gets rid of the Goblin jump, and then towards the sniper deck as well. There's nothing you can do about that. What a brilliant start from Renegades. Virtual balcony there.
That's a stretch. Still, that is a crossfire. Look at this from Jacob and Liaz. Wow, this is such a brutal swing from Jacob. He could stop and contest. It does. They just mow them down. And that's the end of that clean from Renegades.
What a beautiful round that was. I loved it.
Yeah, can we rewind that and watch it again, please?
The smokes, we thought it would just be the smoke towards the elevated position with the Molotov. They had one at the back of the site and towards the boost position as well. And they get Jacob in this spot as well. You can see they've got no idea. He's just got a pure shooting gallery. Players not even moving in front of him. Mows them all down. It's going to be 10-6 to the Renegades as G2 will look likely to take the eco here. Nothing invested, not a single dollar. Just USPs across the board here. It's going to be a real rough round for them. There's going to be rushing towards the A ramp, it seems. So Jacob flashing it off, seems to be ready for it, but he's got the AK. He needs to be very careful. I think he flashed himself there.
Faction has the perfect weapon for the job. He's just mowing them down. Another quick one. 1 minute 41 still on the clock. That could not be quicker.
Yeah, get it done, I suppose. You've got nothing to really work with. Rush the A ramp. Quick round.
Those Mac 10s, though, farming some cash. Should a G2 put up some resistance, Renegades will have quite the cushion.
So now they know there's going to be M4s into the next round. Right? On the CT side, this sort of buy is very difficult to operate with. You're not going to have helmets on absolutely everyone. If you want any utility at all, you can see Shocks, Jax, Kenny S, no helmets, and you've got 3 SMGs into this round. So they can just keep going faster. This is the flashbang towards B, and we'll see if that gains some access here. It's deployed. 2 of them go in. Just the first one to push them back, and the second one to actually get in towards the site. Lucky waiting for the ideal opportunity to get this smoke down.
This is going to become standard. This is going to become standard. We saw RPK doing it. We saw the Aussies doing it, and now the same for Lucky. Since you have to almost always have a solo player on B, getting that information safely is going to be a priority, and that corner does seem to be the weapon of choice for many. Molotov towards sandbags, won't net them anything, but process of elimination important, and of course we'll keep the CTs taking their heels in on that site. Far from committing to this though, Henry. They're showing on both sides right now.
Just trying to bait out the little utility that those CTs have. They know this is a compromised round. You can see they've got so many little tricks to the double HG towards Goblin. And now it will be up to Shoxy to try and push him back. The CTs need picks here. They know they can't handle a full execution. They have no utility on the A side whatsoever. Trying to fight. Amanek doing what he can, taking a lot of damage, down to 5 points of health. The final smoke they've got is deployed. At least on this side of the map, Lucky has one more. Shoxy, great shot here. Can he get anything else? It looks like he can on for a 3K as a pulls one back.
There's going to be just 2 remaining. Grass Faction, JKS, the bomb's committed, and so will they. Upgrades to the AK. 29. The CTs, they've fallen right back. Damage done to Amanek could prove to be somewhat of an issue for them. They're going to double peek this. Oh, they played it well. Lucky does shut down JKS, but still, the fact that he's managed to get one is, like his last name, Savage. Bomb in, looking for the 1 versus 2 now. Grass Faction, some of the hard work's been done for him. I don't know if that's a UI bug, but it says he's got 5 bullets. Now I'm panicking, because he has to get a fresh mag. Switches to the M4 for the 1v1. Lucky's going to push him. I think he could get caught out. The flash pops, but still just enough from Lucky.
Yeah. Probably didn't want to have to use the flashbang in that scenario. He was way too close to try and pull that one off. As soon as he sees the flash, he's just going to swing on you before you can draw your rifle again. But a decent try there.
He must have been on 5 bullets for so long, Harry.
I think so.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, it was a difficult one. That's why he had to pick up that M4 as quickly as he could. But the hero of this round was Shoxy. Remember, they didn't really have anything there. Shoxy had 1 flashbang. They had a smoke remaining on the final commitment. He just has to face up and try and find the headshots. He certainly delivers as G2 begin their campaign now on the CT side. MP9s, UMPs for G2, considering that round came down to the 1 versus 1. We knew their money was already very weak going into that last round. So Renegades still with full buy. They have a huge advantage here.
No slouch on these weapons though, Jax. MP9, Amanek on the UMP. As I burnt to a crisp in ladder room, thought he could perhaps rush through it and contest instead. Lucky finding the fight with JKS. It was a bit of a 1-man army there towards the B stair. The boost to find the Samanek corner. I like this.
Yeah,
Can even pick the boost. Kenny could get caught out if they have the patience on their stepping. Not necessarily going to reveal all of their tricks, but still enough for them to react. And Jax from mid to the site itself, already on A, and gets the frag onto Jacob. Just 3 remain for Renegades in round 19, and CTs are playing this perfectly, just pulling them around. There's so many angles you have to fight. Jax gets another. This time a bullet to his head, though. Grass Faction and Liaz, 60 points of health between the 2 of them, and not impossible, but far from likely. Re-smoke. They're not in a rush. For 28 seconds, they got the bomb. Actually gives something for Liaz to play around. He's going to be aware there could be a CT through that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're going to do with this one. They don't have time to rotate back towards the other side now, and they've got 35 HP.
2 smokes.
2 smokes, sure. Maybe a plant's available. As soon as they try and plant, they're just going to run them down, and they won't even get that close. 9 seconds remaining. Grass Faction is going to die at this point. Solid A hold there from G2. Renegades can't really do much about it. Just one player going down. That's going to be Jax. And Renegades this time losing out to the SMGs. MP9 doing serious work there. And it will be 11-8 as G2 claw their way back in now. Here's the replay from Jax. MP9 in hand. Ready and waiting to take them down as they commit towards that A ramp. And there's only one kill found. As we'll see an AK. Oh, make it a Krieg for JKS into the next round. So he's going to be on that hero buy. Seems like they put a lot of stock in JKS this game. Mainly walking on CT side and hitting a lot of kills. You can see 19 so far. Got to challenge the A ramp.
He had one kill on his T-half. He wasn't ready for it. Taste of their own medicine. Amanek so fast down the ramp. They do manage to stabilize, though. With the P250 and Deagle, respectively, they have now got access, at least to ramp. Hard fought. Weapon gained. Jacob actually bought Kevlar as well with his P250, so that Krieg's not going to go to waste.
Well, a chance now.
Ooh, look at Lucky.
Yeah, he'll probably get his first goal, no problem, but will he get the trade? Well, there it is. 2 kills for him and the bomb down. That should be the round. Down in Duster, we'll see if Azza, with his UMP, no armor, can do anything about this. They don't really need to hold the bomb, necessarily. It's just going to be a difficult choke point with Lucky on such low health as well. I just want us to get out of there. Regardless, he'll be removed, Azza with a small chance now. UMP only, but he can upgrade to that Krieg. He's got a smoke and a flash, and they are going to be aware of that, but it will be very CT favored. I think they still get there just before he can plant. We will see. What's the timing going to look like? Ooh, it's not bad, actually.
And bomb down. No armor. That nade could do a whole lot of damage. Oh, look at that. Nuclear onto Azza. Down to 36. No armor. Surely no hope. It would have to be a clean kill on towards Shox' pressure from behind. They know where he is as well. Jax gonna get caught out though. Jumping and oh, Azza couldn't quite connect the final bullet. Brings him low.
Another exciting, pretty much eco round there from Renegades. They did invest with one player. He managed to get the Krieg, but it was the UMP push that took him down initially. 2 kills for Amanek, but they pulled it back with the Desert Eagles. Azza, great work there towards the B side, just as they're about to commit towards A. He gets the bomb planted, gets him a decent buy here. It's an extra $800 per player when that bomb is planted, regardless if it's a win or a loss. So there it is. You know you're going to be getting that extra money. And we'll see now Kriegs for Gratisfaction and JKS, 3 AK-47s.
And 3 consecutively, 4 G2 on their defense. See if Renegades can break through.
Renegades have had a lot of tight games this tournament.
They really have. Seems to be their specialty. Poor Kassad and his heart.
Yeah, it's a stressful best of 3s he's had at this tournament so far, I'll say that much.
I mean, after your first best of 1s, every game you step into, every time you plug in your mouse and keyboard here in Berlin, you could be going home. They've weathered the storm of the first 2. The third is G2. 1 spot, 2 teams. The Mercedes-Benz Arena. Oh, Gratisfaction. It's sound cues, it's peaks, it's nades. It's a real dance between the 2 of them. Spurts of aggression. Amanek and Kenny both, Krieg and Orp, starting to try and take fights, and Jacob could get caught out by that. That's lovely.
Yeah, it's been a while since Kenny's been landing the shots of the AWP. He was absolutely terrifying in that first half, now starting to come to life in the second. We'll see Amanek. Lovely shots from him towards that A ramp, but now finally Renegades finding some movement. But it's going to be a 4 versus 2 now. Kenny S looks like he's poised for another kill as well. It's very awkward here as Azza takes him down.
Oh, and Jax overextending perhaps. 2 versus 2. There was no trade available. Forced off by the Molotov of Gratisfaction. Puts Shox in elevator. Lucky on the flank. He's gone too.
Oh, they're going to just commit towards B now. Is Azza out of there?
He can hear it, but Shox is going to bring it into a 1v1.
Here we go then. Azza. He certainly has been heard. Shoxy is the master.